Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are back at it again on Tier Maker, this time ranking 2010's CBBC shows. So yeah, depending on how well last video did, chances are this video will be out. If not, I have probably delayed this by a few months and it is finally here. So yeah, without further ado, I'll be diving into the rankings and yeah, all as per usual with my tier list vids, all opinions are my own, and yeah. So to start things off, let's have a look at the roster we got here. So this is mainly just CBBC shows, from the early to mid 2010s. So I don't know if if most of these are still airing now. They might be doing reruns. I don't know. To be fair, kids' TV in the UK is kind of cooked. So wait. Is that REA? Oh, fuck off. all jokes aside, this is just going to be a fairly average video, and I'm just going to be ranking stuff, and that'll be that. So, starting off, let me just, okay, never, okay, good. So I'm going to start off by doing a show that I don't think a great deal of people that I know either watched or knew about, and that's Cross Dismissed. Now, the reason why I'm saying all this stuff is because I watched this show. In fact, I wanted to make a video on this show. I don't know, something along the lines of this kid's TV show was underrated, or something like that. Because believe me, it is. Now, what pushed this down for me, hence why it's in great, is because sure, the early seasons were good and the cast was great, funny and such, and I was kind of like deluded because I thought that this was what secondary school was going to be like, because I watched this in the years leading up to me going to secondary school. I think secondary school for me was a mixed bag, but other than that though, this show is iconic and it's great. But the reason why it's in for great ranking is because they decided to get rid of all the other cast. They decided to like go into the office, CBBC offices one day, saying, "Right, you are out. You're not coming back for the new season." And obviously, I was pissed. Chances are the old cast probably were pissed. To be fair, they grew up. I think people usually do, but yeah, they rebooted it, and it was absolute dog shit. And yes, I feel like a lot of great kids shows, if they like renew them and they like keep going for years on years, there will be a point where they start to become shit. And Cross Dismissed, sorry, is a perfect example of what happens when a show was great and now it's complete shit. Well, I think the last episode came out in 2023, so a little over 2 or 3 years ago now. I don't know when this video is going to be out, but as I say, I hope that no more episodes of the reboot come out, because it deserves to be remembered as the original series. Anyway, side rant over. We're gonna be doing Dungeoners. Dungeoners peak. It was truly one of the shows of all time. Hence why it's going in legendary. A bit above Cross Dismissed. Actually no, it's gonna I mean, if we're solely ranking the first season, I think we're just gonna go in legendary. Dungeoners is above it, of course, because it was a good show. It was a relaxing show. It was the pacing was good, the vibes were good, and it was great. I'm wondering, like 7 or 8 years later, well and truly after I've watched this series, show, do any of the kids who had these awesome duns still have them? or did they just grow up, or just forget about them entirely? Which, either way, it's not my problem. And if they still have those duns, then that's great. And if if you didn't watch this show, if you didn't have the privilege of growing up with this show, where even were you? Sorry, I just got a bit carried away. Right. Half these shows I didn't even watch. I was aware of their existence, but I just never watched them. Diddy TV. But before we do that though, Dead 360. This show was great. Hence, actually, no, it was more than great. Actually, I'm gonna put it in between Crass, Dismissed, and Engineers, simply because Steve Backshaw. I'm just gonna see if I've butchered the name. Just bear with me for just a sec. Steve Backshaw carried this show. It was his show, and stellar performance from the man himself, and I loved it, and it really got me intrigued, inspired about nature and not nature, like deadly animals across the world, and yeah, I hope Steve is doing all right for himself now, and yeah, now I think I watched Dead 360 a handful of times. I wasn't super into it. I think I remember getting a Dead 360 book when I was in primary school, but God knows where that is now. It's probably like in my loft or something. Let's be real. Operation Ouch. Now this was a show that had a pretty good game on the CBBC website, and for that, it's going legendary. And yeah, the cast was good. I think it's still airing now, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check. Operation Ouch. Still going. Oh, it says here that it's still going, so that's great. Maybe it could pretend. I don't know if it's gonna quote unquote revive kids TV, but the fact that it's still going is awesome. It's great. Now, I was aware of this show. That is that REA. I think that is REA, but because I'm not a fan of REA, I never liked the guy. He's annoying, and he does Fortnite videos. Now I don't hate the man. I'm just not the target audience for this guy. And it's crazy to me that his second channel has more subs than his main channel. I don't know why. That's why you should always do a main channel first, and then like several years later, once you like built yourself up like on YouTube, you start a second channel. I do have a second channel, but I just haven't posted anything on it. Maybe I should push it out more. Horrible Histories, the holy grail of British TV, but like Crass Dismissed, it fell off ever so quickly, because sure, we had absolute bangers like Charles II. That's basically all I can think of, because the songs were pretty good. The staple, they were pretty good, including a lot of facts, a lot of stuff, and inspired me to do history. I didn't do history at GCSE because I just couldn't be bothered. But yeah, I just became a massive history nerd. Well, I'm not really a history nerd, but I dabbled in history because of this show. And then when they brought it back and rebooted it, and made a new series, hatred began, and the songs started to sound less like absolute bangers, but more like absolute stinkers. So yeah, that's my verdict on Horrible Histories. Creeps Out. Now, I became aware of this show via Netflix. Like when I first got Netflix back in like, I don't know, 2018, 2019. This was one of the first shows that I watched. It's not even scary. I don't know what 10-year-old me was on, but it wasn't even scary at all. I must have been tripping. I must have, but it's good. I haven't watched it in a very long while. I think they made some like new. I think they made like another few series of it on Netflix a while ago, but that we're talking months and months and heck even years ago. But they're probably just uploading old content, and yeah, it's good. It's a good show. Um, Blue Peter. I never watched Blue Peter, but I was aware that it existed. So yeah, Blue Peter's going in there, and yeah, there was someone at my primary school who got a Blue Peter badge, and yeah, I never got one, and yeah, I think it's still going now. I think it's like still one of the longest running shows on CBBC, but I could be wrong. Art Ninja. Ah, I didn't really watch this show a great deal, but it was good. It was good. That's all I can say. It was good, and it kind of inspired me to become invested in art. So that's great. So shout out to the guy, the host of this show. You are a legend, and I would not be doing half the things I do because of this guy. So yeah, absolute legend. Uh, Danger Mouse. I watched this show a handful of times. The theme song, catchy as fuck. Um, the Flash games on CBBC website, peak. It's going great. I watched this show a handful of times. I don't know if it's still going. It probably got cancelled like 4 years ago, but I've no idea. But it's still a good show. I never watched the 4 o'clock club. I don't even know what that was. Diddy TV. Now I mentioned previously that I was gonna rank this, and we are. I am gonna rank this. It was good. Heck, even Stampy cameoed in this. Basically, like the concept was just like Dick and Dom. Do you remember like Dick and Dom in the Bungalow? I saw bits of it when I was younger, but like it was very faint. What I saw. Yeah, it's basically like Dick and Dom in the Bungalow, but it was I don't know. It was goofy. They were like bobbleheads, and yeah, they had baby hands, like just like plastic baby hands that you can get from like I don't know Mankind or something. That's the example I got. I never watched this show, so I'm not gonna comment. I wasn't the target audience. I'm just saying. Same with this show, which I think is based on a book. So I might just have to. Like I never watched. No, I never watched this show either. I don't even know what it was. Absolute genius. I never watched it, but I like some of Dick and Dom stuff. Big Friday Wind Up. Now I did hear about this, but I never watched it. The Dog Ate My Homework. Absolute throwback. I think this was a game show or something. Oh, okay. I never watched this either, so let's just put that there. The Dog Ate My Homework. I don't know what it was, but like every like Thursday in primary school, when I got home, I just watched this for some reason. I had it on in the background whilst I was like, I don't know, eating or something, or like doing my homework in the living room. Don't ask me why, but I was doing it in the living room. It just made me resent homework, and I was in fear that a dog mascot would run into my house and take my homework and eat it in front of me, leaving me traumatized for life. But yeah, this show was good, and all jokes aside, it was good. I never watched it. I never watched The Next Step either. I don't know what it was, but I'm just not into dancing, even though I do it all the time to like white girl music, but that's not important. Right. What even is this show? Psychos. I don't even know what it says. I'm just gonna leave it. Officially amazing. Ah, go up, go up, go up. It was great. It was great. It was great. No, it was yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was great. I was. I never watched the Dumping Ground, but I watched like a small sliver of it. So for that, it's gonna go in mid, simply because I never watched it. Hank Zipser. I do remember watching this show. I rediscovered it once, but I'm too old for half these. I'm too old for pretty much all these shows anyway. Maybe like except for like Horrible Histories, where I can just laugh at how bad it is now. But yeah, I very loosely remember watching Hank Zipser. I'm not really sure when, but I just loosely remember it. It was a good show from what I can remember. Wait, wasn't this the show with like Gordon Ramsay's daughter in or something? I watched a bit of this, but this was like years ago. Mid. It's going in mid. It's going in mid. Now, I do watch. This is a bad habit of mine, but when there's like nothing to watch on TV, I just watch Kitchen Nightmares. It just happens to be on like I don't know E4 or something, like E4 Extra. Junior Bake Off. It's going in mid. I actually no, it's gonna go in great because it's basically Great British Bake Off, but for kids. News round. Now secondary school. Now in secondary school, I every like morning, my like tutor used to like put this on to like. It was good. It was a fun time. Took me back, and for that, it's gonna go in legendary because it kept me educated on the world, even though nothing was really going on half the time. And to be fair, this has been such a nothing burger year. I just don't really know what to think about it. Arthur, I'm aware of Arthur. I did watch Arthur, but not as much compared to these shows. But it's still going to go in great because Arthur's iconic, and half some of the gifs I use are from this show. It's good. I'll probably like watch it with my kids in like 15, 20 years time, but that's either here nor there. Hacker Time. I never watched Hacker Time. I never watched this football show either. That's what I can assume. Jamie Johnson, I think. I don't know. I'm probably butchering the name. Scream Street. Strange Hill High knockoff. We didn't allow that. It was terrible. I never watched it. Never watched this either. Last Witch. I never watched it. Oh fuck off! It's got Bella Ramsey in it. That's how you know it's gonna be ass. Wolfblood. Never watched it. Let's be real. It was probably terrible, but that's my thoughts on that. Oogaries. Oh yes, that was peak. Oh, even though it's pretty random. What even is this show? I'm just gonna put it there because I don't know what it is. I don't know what this is like. Marrying Mum and Dad. That is a throwback. That is a fucking throwback. It just unlocks a core memory. Legendary. I used to watch that with my sister all the time. It was. I remember once they had like a Doctor Who themed wedding, and there was like very green slime. That's all I can remember from it. And there's like weird costumes. I've never watched Doctor Who, so I can't comment. But the war between the land and the sea looks fucking terrible. That's my verdict. Am I high? I never watched this. The Pets Factor. I remember hearing about this, but for the sake of this, I'm just gonna put it in bad because I never watched it. Secret Life of Boys. What even? No, I never watched it. Don't even know what that is. And yeah, that is my ranking of CBBC shows. Now, I don't know when this video is gonna be out because, let's be real, I'm just recording this after the previous tier list video. So yeah, if you guys went on to enjoy, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want. Comment below any suggestions of what I should rank next. Check out the ranks. If you want to like reach out and talk to me like behind the scenes, we do have a Discord server. The channel does anyway. It's been going for quite a long time now, for like a year and a bit. So yeah. And we've got some pretty awesome people on there. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and I will hopefully see you all in the next one. Bye bye.